Okay, I actually want to rant about something. I just got out of this game. 295, yeah. I just got out of this game. Did fired 7 shots, 7 hits, 4 pens, 3 bounces, near 2000 damage, 2500 blocked by armor, which is not much from a Doom Turtle, 1000 assist, third on XP, third on damage. I mean, overall, it's a pretty good game. But I was down to 300 health. And here's my rant. This dude, in the 2790, tiny insect. 2790, everybody hates it, except 2790 drivers, obviously. With a non-existing lower plate and just, well, the cupolas, yeah, they're a weak spot, but good luck hitting them. I couldn't even hit his cupola at a distance of 10 meters with 0.37 accuracy. So, you know, there's that. And 3000 damage, 11 shots fired, 8 hits, 7 pens, 1580 blocked. I mean, didn't look like he had a great game. But what happened was he rushed forward. He did have, where is he? This guy in the CC1 Mark II Halcute. Actually, that name sounds kind of familiar. Might have run into this one in battle before. But he came forward. They both came to rush. And I was backed up by the 703-2 and the T110E4. What happened now? Come on, don't crash, I'm recording. Oof. Good. And the T110E4. And the T110E4 is a very scary tank. Doesn't matter what you're in, unless it's a chieftain, it's a scary tank. And the 703-2 is also fairly strong. Well, this 2790 tiny insect, he rushed in. We obviously killed the CC1 Mark II first because weak lower plate, weak sides, we could easily kill him. And then we focused fire on this guy, right? So it was me in the T95, a T110E4, and a 703-2. And this guy showed the side of his turret, not the side of his hull, but he showed the side of his turret to a T110E4 and a 703-2, and he just completely ignored them. I had his sides. I had 276 millimeters of penetration because I actually don't carry gold ammo because, well, I'm a free-to-play player in this game somehow for over decades, but I just don't think wargaming is worth money, just period. They're greedy and I hate them. And I've hated them even more ever since the 2790 came along, which they know is overpowered because you can no longer get it. So, but I had his side at 45-degree angle. I could not pad him. I tried to hit his cupola with 0.37 accuracy. Could not. I could. The only thing I could do was track him, and so I did, and I reversed. And this guy was just spamming heat at my cupolas. At some point, even killed my driver, and I reversed more slowly because I didn't think it was worth the head kit to heal my driver. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna die. I'm not gonna waste 3,000 credits on healing him. But then he missed, right? And for some reason, he was still on half health at this point. And for some reason, he decided he was going to reverse, and he ended up getting killed by artillery after the T-110E4 actually managed to slap one of his cupolas and left him on 300 health or something, and then artillery splashed him to death. But the fact that this guy was just gold spamming against what is arguably one of the strongest vehicle in the entire game, and I could not do anything about him, even though when I pointed at his tank, my armor penetration indicator was green. It used to be that it only lit green if the armor was thin enough, but did not consider angle, the angle of the armor. Well, it does now. So it should have gone through, but it didn't. And this guy shot the side of his turret to a T-110E3 and a 703-2 that was probably spamming heat because Russian heavy. And he only lost half of his health, and the only reason I survived was because he somehow managed to miss my cupola. And it's just disgusting that this thing actually drove, showing his weak spot, to a goddamn T-110E4 and only lost half of his health. And only didn't kill me because he was unlucky. He didn't think. He just drove straight, he parked his tank in the middle of the goddamn road and just bounced. And took it by his truck. Yeah, it says that he bounced, yeah, blocked by armor 1580. That does not take into consideration the armor that was absorbed by the tracks, because, well, track is spaced armor technically, but when a shot is absorbed by a track, if it doesn't go through the track and then reaches the actual armor underneath, then it doesn't count. I have witnessed it many times when I absorb the shot with my track and my damage block number does not go up. So he took a lot of those shots into his track. A lot of mine as well. 750 average damage. And he just sat in front of me at a 45-degree angle with an E4 and a 703 on the other side, and he was just spamming gold at my face. And he was just sitting in the side of the road. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't doing some super Naruto style military tactic level of genius. He was literally just sitting in the middle of the road shooting at my cupolas with gold ammunition. And this is the kind of things that we, the community, have been angry about for a long time, and somehow there are still people, maybe not him, I don't know how much he spends on the game. 20,000 games, well, 110, well, I like his heavies. So he Action 10, T-2065. What's his most played tank anyway? The Progetto 46, Scorpion, Chieftain, yeah, so I understand wargaming is a business. They need to pay their bills. They need to pay their employees, they need to pay taxes and this and that and blah blah blah. I get it. But why would you allow someone to have a tank that can just park in the middle of the road and just take hits from one of the biggest, scariest thing in the entire game? I don't get it. If anything, why don't they do what World of Warships is doing? Have PvE operations. Armored Warfare has amazing PvE. And I don't play more Armored Warfare because I think that their physics engine is not that great. World of Tanks actually has pretty good game physics. And honestly, that's probably one of the biggest factor why I'm still here. I actually really enjoy the physics, other than the slippery rocks. That has got to be one of the worst things that they've ever done. But they don't introduce PvE and remove chieftains and 2790s and armored cars from PvP. Only allow them in PvE or something. I don't know. But it's stupid. This actually is the tank. Well, the assault gun, technically, the vehicle that made me play World of Tanks over 12 years ago when I was in high school. When I was a teenager with a greasy face and greasy hair. Well, I still have greasy hair, but that's besides the point. I got it like a year ago. I've only hit this thing for a year. It took me over a decade of grind. Though I did not actually just follow the path straight to it. I got distracted and got into other branches and this and that. My first tier 9 was the STI, which at the time I actually thought I wasn't good enough at the game yet. Look at that, I have 23 tier 9s out of 160 tanks. I even have the mouse. I unlocked that a few months ago, the Rinoceronte, which I absolutely love. By far my favorite tier 10 tank. Love it. I have a Foch 155 for God's sake. And I spent 12 years grinding, learning, adapting with every update. I finally get the T95, repairs, brothers in arms, turbo, improve hardening so I can take more hits, I have more health, gun rammer for higher DPM, and I do all this, and then this guy, I mean, I know it's a reward tank, the 2790, but you basically couldn't get it if you were a free-to-play player. And he takes out his credit card and he can just better me. He can just be better than someone who spent 12 years learning the game and is free to play. First, because I was broke, and now that I have money, because I don't think wargaming is worth even a single cent. But this guy can just take out his credit card and he can just be better than me. Actually, he could be better than... He almost could be better than 3 of us. The only reason he died was because I distracted him, because he was like, oh, dude, look at them. And he ignored the other 2. And they eventually got him with the help of artillery as well. And before he came rushing to attack me, right, because he only had eyes for me, he was sitting on the other side. We were on the not oyster map, but what's the other outpost? We were on outpost. I was in the heavy side, all right. And at first he played smart. He hit his non-existing lower plate with the rock, and then he angled his hole and he only showed his strong parts, and he was actually being smart. And then I realized none of us could rush him. The T124 is a great tank, but it's got as weak of a lower plate as I do, especially against a hit spamming 2790. And so at some point, the 3 of us, myself, the E4, and the 703, we were just kind of sitting there, and we were not moving. We were waiting for the south to move because we figured we can't move. One of us will be dead by the time we reach the other side, and the second one will be on half health, and by the time they get there, then they still have to deal with the 279E, which was being backed up by a CC1 Mark II and a Yak Panzer E100. And so we actually sat for half the game. For half the game, I actually was sitting at my chair, staring at my screen, and my hands were on my lap. because we could not do anything while he was there. And then he moved, and then we only got lucky that we killed him, because the E4 snapshotted his cupola. He lost most of the remaining of his half health, and then he got splashed to death by artillery. If that E4 didn't get lucky and artillery didn't help us, well, I would have. I mean, if he hadn't missed and he had killed me, I think he probably would have moved forward. I think the reason why he gave up was because I was reversing, so he missed me and he thought, well, he's going away, and the further he is from me, the more likely I am to miss. So I think he lost confidence in his ability to kill me. I don't know. I'm trying to think about how it all went down, but the big problem is still that he just came around the corner, stopped his tank, and then just kept spamming gold at my cupola. Yes, I know it's special ammunition, but it's gold. Alright, it's been known as gold, it's always going to be known as gold. And I'm just disgusted that I spent nearly... Hold on. Yeah. I spent nearly half of my life playing this game, learning it, resisting the urge to just say screw it, take out my wallet, and just pay them. And then this guy just shows up and nearly kills me just because he wants to spend money. That's the problem with PvP, is how do you make something that makes people want to buy something without being overpowered against other players? Well, Wargaming doesn't care. They stopped caring years ago. They do not care because they realize that they're still making money. They're making so much money, they're going to release a British light tank tech tree soon. Even though we've hated the armored cars ever since the day they came out. And I thought they never could do anything that would make... I thought they would never be able to release anything into the game that I would hit more than armored cars. And then they released the Buzz 176. You know, because they think that strapping a couple of fireworks to the ass of a tank is gonna make it go faster. Yeah, sure, yeah, couple sparkly tubes are going to make a 65-ton tank go much faster. And then there's the high explosive rework. They turn heat into high explosive into heat. They said that the fire heavy and the KV2 were going to be spared, and then in a small fix patch, they actually did put it in there without even mentioning it under everybody's nose or something. Pretty sure that's how it went, because originally they were spared. Well, at least the KV2. I don't know about the Type 5. I don't have one yet. But yeah. I thought this was going to be like a 3-4 minute video, but I'm 18.5 minutes into it. And I hate this game. I really do. The only reason I'm still playing is because I have an itch to scratch with the Battle Pass. And honestly, if there was no Battle Pass, and if my friend hadn't bought me half of my tiered premiums as a gift, which I only accepted so that he wouldn't waste his money. If there was no battle pass and he didn't buy me these tanks as gifts, I would delete my Wargaming account. You know, I don't even know why I bother renting, because they don't care. They don't even care about the people that they care the most about, which is the whales, the ones actually making their money. I'm a free-to-play player. I've never spent any money on this game. On the list of people that they give the most shit about, I'm at the very absolute bottom. Number last. Absolutely. Like the absolute literal bottom of the list. So I don't even know why I bother talking about this. Why? And it's to the point, right? World of Tanks is actually the only game that I play that makes me angry. Even World of Warships is not that infuriating. In World of Warships, there's no such thing as premium ammunition. That was the thing, right? Is a few years ago, it's no longer the case, but a few years ago, World of Warships was a lot more profitable than World of Tanks, apparently. And I thought, well, they have PvE and they don't have gold ammo. So if they can have a game that has PvE and the lack of premium ammunition, and make it even more profitable, why don't they make it happen? Why don't they do it here in World of Tanks? I mean, I play a lot of Electronic Arts games as well, but honestly, wargaming at this point is at the same level of Electronic Arts. I remember when Jedi Fallen Order came out, a game which I absolutely love, by the way. A game with no online, just a strong story, well-written characters and everything. I think the biggest downside that I had with the game was that the Inquisitor plot twist was overfed. It clicked in my head before the Inquisitor revealed herself who she was, because I think it was a little bit overacted. But other than that, I mean, the game was amazing. Recently, I had re-downloaded it just so that I can play through it again, and the only reason I'm saying this in past tense is because I actually uninstalled it to install another game because I'm running out of space on my PC and I need to buy another hard drive. But yeah, when that game came out, Fallen Order, I remember Electronic Arts saying, we were a bit nervous about releasing this game because of the lack of, loot boxes, microtransaction, and cosmetics and everything, but it performed a lot better than we expected. And we pulled our hair out of our head and screamed, "You don't fucking say, you bloody idiot." And I am at this level of irritation with wargaming. Their greed is beyond words. I'm at 22 minutes now into this video, just breaking my skull against the wall, trying to think of the proper way to describe their greed, and I can barely come up with something. I'm stuttering a lot. I have to pause a lot to think about my words because I just cannot describe how greedy they are and how infuriating it is. Oh, look at that, EBRs. I talked about them. So I'm actually surprised and happy that I haven't seen many buzzes around lately. Yeah, BZs, I call them buzzes. So, sad to still see armored cars. Oh yeah, that was another thing. Before I got the ELC even 90, with about 4 or 5 years worth of accumulating small amount of gold, my best light tank was the Chinese steered light tank, the WZ-132, and it was, how can I say this? It was sad that I had spent, what, 5 years building up the current WZ-132, and then when I got the ELC even 90 within a week, actually within like 3 or 4 days, it was even better. And of course, it's a premium tank, so it just annoys me and irritates me how greedy. Oh yeah, another thing that they've released that I hate even more than armored cars, that I probably hate even more than the Buzz, is the Holy 3, the tier 10. I'm sorry. I absolutely hate that thing so much because every single Holy 3 player that I've ever seen. Okay, that was my fault. I over-angled. Every single Holy 3 driver that I've ever seen fires high explosive armor, high explosive armor piercing. What I'm talking about, high penetration armor piercing bullets. None of them is smart. Oh, that's a motion. Hello. Yeah, none of them seems to be smart enough to use their brain cells, and they all fire the gold. That's just World of Tanks these days, and as much as I love the Mighty Jingles, he's my favorite YouTuber, and I remember him saying, complaining about Gold Diamond World of Tanks is like complaining that water's wet. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be this way. The only reason Wargaming keeps doing what they're doing is because they get away with it. That's it, they get away with it. And the only time that they ever do anything is when people are very angry. Haha. Oh, well, of course you didn't go through the fire gold. If he had gold loaded and more penetration, he would have come through.
Viewfinder back up. Visibility increased.
Alright. Oh, that was gold and he didn't go through. See, that's exactly how it should be. Look at that. He switched to his wallet and he couldn't work. Look at that, he's still firing gold and it's not working. Look at that. Oh, you messed up, mate. See that? Fire gold. Well, this guy is firing gold. But that renegade, that's exactly how it should be. He decided to go for gold and he didn't fix his problems. He had to use his brain and he didn't do so. He died. That's exactly how it should be. Go on, Daniel, get it. Go ahead. Where is he? Hello. Is he gonna go through me? Okay, he missed me by a long shot. I do not miss the motion. Well, kind of, but kind of not. The most is much better, but it's not good. The thing about the most is it's a short tank.
Critical hit.
Okay, he's throwing AP, and that was green, and it did not go through. Alright, well, I'm gonna go through his cupola then. And he's all... Yeah, I'm gonna have another go. Look at that. Used his brain and he actually got through. Was it the lower plate? I think so. See that? Look at that. He used his brain and it worked. It paid off. Exactly how it should be. Come on. Oh, he still went through. If you're not gonna angle.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Yeah, lower plate. See that? And he fired armor piercing. Yeah, that motion player is exactly how the game should be. What's your name, mate? Tigris Fluvius. And then the TS fast calls the team garbage because there's always that one guy. Anyway, how is this 1-1 not yet dead? Dead minutes ago. And then there comes reinforcement. Good 1-1. Hello. You're gonna keep firing gold at me, mate? Probably. I'm gonna go and.
They've hit our viewports.
That was
Can't
not
see
gold.
anything.
Come on.
Penetration.
Wait, 8-7. Ooh.
The periscope is fixed, but it's still fragile.
Yes. Did you run out of heat or did you just figure that? You read more words to that? Yeah. High explosive. Okay, let's hope that he's out of gold. Hello.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Well, at this rate, I hope you have 50 rounds of high explosive, because that's about as much as you need. But then again, I'm not advanced. Back, that's not good. Okay, one thing at a time. One. Yeah, I'm gonna survive that big shot. We're trying.
Killed our driver. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Ah, no, come on. Jesus, I'm on 5 kills. Please don't die, 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 please don't die. Okay. No, don't die.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
If you kill me, I swear.
We've lost the track. Permission to engage.
Come on.
We fixed the track. Keep going. Enemy harbor is destroyed.
7 kills. Wow. Well, that was a little bit unexpected. Also, I'm very happy that I changed the maximum recording length from 30 minutes to 1 hour, because that would have cut mid-battle and I would have been so mad to lose a couple of seconds of gameplay in between 2 recordings and then having to edit them. At least this I can just upload straight up. Wow! Ace Tanker. Wow. Okay, before anyone says anything to the like 7 people that are gonna watch this, no, this doesn't make up for the 2790. See, here's the thing, right? I'm happy right now, okay? I'm having my happy hormones, you know, bouncing all over my brain. But that's kind of the thing, is when people think about World of Tanks, they think about that. Jesus, look at that, 6,000 damage. That's the second highest damage I've ever done. My damage record was 6,700. Jesus. I'm not even Christian, but Jesus, look at that! I even made a profit with a standard account as a free-to-play player. What? Also, I just realized, I hope I'm not gonna have too much echo. But, damn. Yeah, that 1-1B was their best player. Wait, who'd I kill? 1-1B, A phase 1, yeah, the motion, pattern, renegade, charioteer, Borsig. Wow. Yeah, see, the thing is, when people think of World of Tanks, whenever they watch replays online, people cherry pick their games. Cookie Baby used to have a series. He hasn't uploaded a video to that playlist in a while, probably a couple years, but he used to have a series called The Games That You Don't See. And because he realized that he picked his top 1% game, always his damage record or great amazing games, but not an average player, an average game. Because average games are boring. And people play World of Tanks because they just cross their fingers and they hope that they get something like this. But the truth, it almost never does. I mean, I'm super happy, right? Ace Tanker, Top Gun, Steel Wool, High Caliber. I mean, Ace Tanker, I have to be better than 99% of players who play this vehicle in the past 7 days. Steel Wool, Top Gun, I mean, they're achievements, right? They're not that rare, but they're still impressive. That's why they are medals. And I just got 3 medals and an Ace Tanker in 1 game. Last guy left standing. 7 kills. Half of the enemy team were killed by me. And that's not because I'm playing an overpowered machine. I nearly died. If that 1-1B had 1 more round of heat left, he would have killed me. But the deciding factor wasn't that. See, his mistake was that he backed up. He should have ran. That's what he should have done. He should have ran and then sniped, because if he was in the back sniping, if I had turned to the right, where I had gone after I killed him to go behind the Sharp Future 4, he would have shot me in the back. Just 1 shell, even a standard round would have killed me, but he didn't. See, he was spamming gold until he ran out, and then when out of option, he did a mistake, which is being cornered. Right? This is an instinct, is to put you back against the corner. That is actually something that gets you killed in this game, unless you are being surrounded and you actually need to prevent people from going around you. But out of fear, not as a tactic, but out of fear, putting your back against the corner is a reflex. It's natural. All animals have that, and he made the wrong decision. He let the fear flow through him. It was hate that was flowing through him in the original quote. Whatever. I'm bad at quoting movies, but he made a mistake, and it wasn't his gold. It wasn't his gold ammo that saved him. It was his decision that could have saved him, but he made the wrong decision. He paid the price. He lost. He could have killed me. And then after that, yeah, the Borsig. It was the Challenger Charioteer. The reason I went for the Charioteer was because it was a much faster, much more mobile vehicle. It could have gone around me, and yeah, I would have had a Charioteer on one side, a Borsig on the other. I had to kill the Charioteer because he could have circled me. And then the Borsig, you saw him in the end. I was in third person. I was auto-aimed so that I was 100% sure that I wouldn't miss, because in this kind of situations I do tend to be shaky. I have missed the deciding shot because my hands were shaking, and then gotten 3 angry messages telling me that I should uninstall, that I'm a noob, that I should die of cancer, because World of Tanks is known for having a toxic community. And so you saw him. He was wiggling. He did the same thing. He had his back against the wall. I mean, in this situation, I would have turned around, right? It wouldn't have mattered because the armor is the same all around with the Borsig. But I would have turned around and at least, gone forward and hope that I would go around the corner before the T95 would reload. That would have been the best bet. But no, or maybe he just gave up. That is something that I do. When I'm outnumbered 3-1 and I'm a one-shot kill and everybody's firing gold at me, very often I just say, yeah, whatever, and I just give up because I know I can't win. So, but that's decisions. That has nothing to do with an unfair advantage, nothing to do with the 2790 that has impenetrable frontal armor and gold ammunition that can penetrate 98% of the tanks that it faces, regardless of angle. That is the problem, right? Because what made me win this game was decision, understanding the strength of my tanks and its weaknesses versus the strength and weaknesses of the other, which is again why I killed the Charioteer, because it was much faster. It could have gone around me and killed me. I could have turned around. I could have maybe then saved the Emil, but I was not sure. Because the thing is, when I came around the corner, I had them in the hallway. If I had gone the other way, that would have been in a T shape, and they could have gone around the corner, driven off, and gone undetected. Even the Borsig would have outrun me in this situation. And then I would have had 2 turreted stealthy tank destroyers going against the T95 on 300 health. Not ideal. So I think in the end I made the good decision. But again, it's my decision that made me win this game, because I spent 12 goddamn years of my life learning. And every time they changed something, I learned and adapted to the change. That is the kind of games that we should see all the time. The 2790 does not belong in this game. Well, good, because I don't want to play this game anymore. I've done my dailies. I've progressed through the battle pass a little bit. That's good enough. But yeah, it's just a tank that can just stop in the middle of the road and just take hits from one of the biggest gun in the game and shrug it off. That is not okay. We've complained and we've taken to the internet. They do listen. Oh, they listen. They just ignore. Wargaming is actually, I think, even worse than any other game company into being in touch with their community. They are the people, the company that communicates the least with their players, in my experience. And it's just, and it's the same with the whole E3, because I don't know if you know, but the whole E3 with the high penetration armor piercing can't go through the front of a T95. It does not matter how well I angle. If this guy decides to load the gold, he will pen me. How is that fair? What advantage do I have? The armor is the strong point of the T95. So when my armor is no longer an option, I do not have stealth, I do not have mobility. It's the same thing with the mouse. I have the mouse, but like I said, it's a trophy tank. I never play it because people can just load the gold and go through it. And then at the end, I'm just, you might as well just be bleeding in water with sharks circling underneath. Yeah, that's it. I could just cut my wrists and my ankles. You know, severe the muscles in my wrists and in my ankles, and then throw myself in water while bleeding with sharks underneath me, and that would basically summarize what it's like to take the most out. It's just, this game is ruined. It is not fun. A lot of people have quit the game. Community contributors have quit. YouTubers have quit. The only YouTuber that I know of who's still doing wargaming content is Quickie Baby. And every now and then, he releases angry videos. And by every now and then, I mean quite often, I remember with the crew rework, he made like 3 or 4 videos talking about why it's stupid. It's just, Wargaming is a horrible company. They should not exist. Their server should crash. Their game should disappear. They are disgusting. They don't listen to their community. They only care about the money that they're making. And you know that they're running out of ideas because now they're doing the battle pass. At this rate, every single tier 10 in the game will have a skin from the battle pass. I've made calculations with how many tier 10s there are currently in the game. That's maybe 4 years. So that means that, and it's already year 2, so in the next 2 to 3 years, they're going to come with an idea that's going to make them more money. This battle pass, which you can spend real money on, because that's the whole point, is just it's just a way to buy them a couple of years while they think of an alternative. That's what it is. Anyway, this what was supposed to be a 3-minute video about a 2790 that kicked my ass just because he thought that wargaming was worth his money has turned into a 45-minute video about a rant. That is a rant about just the company and the game as a whole. But I mean, I have 28 subscribers. I've reached 20 views a day. So in a way, I kind of feel like this video is probably a wasted effort, but if you've watched it, thank you. Feel free to tell me your opinion. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And with what? And I'll leave it here. Thank you.